difficulty, but we're back.
As happens when you're on debut, everything's new.
Yeah, especially when you've
Back
got
to Q1, there's 6 minutes remaining. As it stands at the moment, we've got Gav, Max, and Robbie making up the top three.
all within 2/10 of each other. Quite tight there at the
2/10
front.
of a second within that top three, but interestingly, Robbie is on the super soft.
Yes.
I don't know if he set that on the super soft. Yeah, he did.
Gav
He
Pig
did
on the
set that on the
outlap.
super.
Just winding his way up through the last sector. Going for another run. I wonder if he's on the same tyres. Gavin, one of the drivers that comes from or hails from South Africa, but not in South Africa. He actually makes his home in Ghana, so it's good to have a little bit of the international flavor in there as well. There's a car on board with him, decent through turn 1, going through turn 2, lining up the S's, choosing his spot. Gets a good line out there, keeps it nice and tidy. Going through the tricky left here, and then this right hand corner that's easy to get wrong. Gets a bit squirming on the exit. Hooks up the apex there, gets a decent exit.
Very important exit that leads on to one of the longest straights in F1.
Yes, definitely.
Kilometer long exactly.
Let's put the lap data in there so we can see what his sector times are like.
This section of the track is surprisingly modelled after Silverstone.
Coming to the second to last corner. Well, it runs a little bit wide, but it's okay, it doesn't cost him. Goes a little bit slower than his fastest, but I think he's using these extra little bit of runs on this set of tyres just for a little bit of practice.
Holding as Max is safe, he becomes the first to take a breather for the rest of the session. Yvette in fourth, but he looks safe in fourth. Next driver 8/10 of a second away, so the top four are clearly safe.
Got Robbie on the outlap again on the super soft, so saving those ultras.
It's going to be interesting to see what his strategy is all about.
Yeah, we'll see. I think most of the guys are going to go with the two stoppers, but there will be one or two that will be gunning for the three stopper if they're saving so many ultra softs, going ultra super maybe.
I think you could go three stop, but like I said earlier, to do a three stop you need to be very consistent on your lap times. And over 100% race distance, that can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
Our debutant is sitting in 8th, so relatively good showing.
Yeah, first time out. As well.
First time out. 1:37.3. Nothing wrong with that. And Tricky's showing some pace with a 1:36.6. He's
Yes,
sitting in
indeed.
6th place.
I think he's one of the most improved drivers so far in this grid.
Definitely.
Let's have a look at the vet. Currently on a flyer. Let's just go on board with him on the DRS straight. Heading up to a big braking zone. This is a big zone for overtaking, Jonathan. I think we're going to see some fireworks through here.
It's all about who's bravest on the brakes.
Yes, indeed.
How far are you willing to take it?
Looks like DW running some low wings.
Into the final two left-hand corners that lead back to the main straight. Activate DRS.
As far as a 36.5. So it's good going. I reckon he's also on some older tyres, just trying to get his eye in for Q3 when it matters.
Just 15 seconds remaining now. Weather in 12th has retired, I believe, so I think everyone in the session should go through.
Yeah. I know Timbo was a little bit late on entering the lobby, so he's also, hopefully he'll be there when the race starts, but I don't think he'll be able to qualify now.
That also now giving up on the session.
Yeah, hopefully it's not
Anyone
the power
left on
unit
track?
that greeted him there.
Letzica going over the line. Activates DRS. Can he improve? He does. He does improve. He goes 8th.
Yeah, good going there.
The
From the man from the East
into
End.
the 136s.
Got a couple of guys here in the East End representing. Good to see.
And the other two are hiding in the commentary box. Hiding from the S's.
Let's have a scroll through. I don't know if it's possible if we can go down to pit lane to Gavin just to find out his thoughts on that first session. Gavin, good run there. It's a little bit oversteery from the point of view I had up here.
Can you give us any information on the weather regarding the session going forward and the race?
Okay, that may be why the guys are stacking up on ultra softs, just to burn them a bit when they need it in Q3.
Yeah.
Strange to see. We've got 14 guys in the lobby, but obviously only 12 that qualified, so we've got a couple of late joiners, which is hopefully they'll stick around for the race.
Should be an interesting addition to the grid.
Anyway, Jonathan, here we are, Q2.
Q2, and we have a car immediately going out. Two, in fact. Toro Rosso followed by Ferrari. So, getting straight down to business.
It looks like everybody on the Ultra's going out there. The Captain Ice being first. Good, nice helmet design. With that purple matching the tires he's got on his car.
When do we get to see the Hypersoft? I need to see the Hypersoft on a Force India.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you there,
Still
Jonathan.
waiting for that tyre to make a debut.
I believe they'll
I
bring
think
it.
we may see it at Monaco or something.
Yeah, there's only a couple of tracks they're gonna use it. But yeah, I can't, out of mind now, I can't remember exactly which tracks. But it will be obviously the low dig street tracks, like Monaco.
Well, I've heard the Hypersoft as its current compound couldn't last 4 laps of Catalunya.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, before it starts
Very
going off.
abrasive circuit.
Hmm.
This track, on the other hand, one of the least abrasive tracks on the calendar. Obviously, opened in 2012.
Yeah, it's just
So
that.
still a new track, and it has been relayered since then. So very flat
It's
and non-abrasive.
normally the front left that takes a pounding.
It's because it's an anti-clockwise circuit, and there's more left turns on this track than there are right turns.
Yes, indeed.
Not many clockwise tracks on the calendar this year. Brazil comes to mind.
Yeah, that's one of them.
USA, and I think Mexico. I think that's about it. Kyalami, another famous anti-clockwise circuit,
Yes.
which this track borrows its final corner and pit entry from.
Yes, indeed, Jonathan. Very good on the brakes, clipping the apex there, Captain Ice. Looks like he's got a solid run going, yeah? Let's have a look what his lap times are suggesting. Oh, loses it on that tight exit. A little bit of kick-off oversteer that no doubt cost him a few tenths. He got dead stick on the 36.5.
First one over the line.
Yes, Captain I second. Coming over the
36.5, I
line
think
now.
that's an improvement over his Q3 time.
It's
Captain
just-
Ice going over the line second, half a second off the pace.
Max pumping in the 35.2, which is decent.
So
I think.
1/10 of a second off his Q1 time, so we know he does that more.
Yes, I think he's still got a little bit of a party mode that he can still go fall back on. Got Robbie now stealing P2 with a 35.2. Quite a big gap to
That's just
P3 there.
14 hundredths of a second between the top two.
We've got a yellow flag in sector 3 there for a short period of time. Let's have a look at
That goes
Frikkie
over the line in a 1:35.1.
snatching
Provisional
pole,
pole for the time being.
snatching pole from his teammate there.
Red Bulls are on song.
Yes, indeed, Jonathan.
Hope they do not emulate life.
Yeah,
We wouldn't want to see that. And look at that. Look at Robbie's time in third. Between the top three, just 600ths of a second.
yes, indeed, and it shows Gavin's done that on the super softs as well here on my screen, Jonathan.
He has done that on the super softs, which
Yes,
makes the lap
indeed.
even more impressive.
Very well done. Just cut back to Frikkie here in the final sector. Coming through
One of the most
triple
improved
right.
drivers in the league.
Yes. Yeah, he's jumped by a couple of seconds easy. But his consistency is also much better now.
It must be because they're buying Ferrari parts.
Goes across the line, does it? Doesn't improve.
Improves by 9/10 of a second, but not necessarily on the position sheet.
Yeah.
Robbie goes over the line. We missed that at 1:34.8.
Yeah.
Just extending that lead. 3/10 of a second, the gap there.
Yeah, I think Toto will be happy to see one of the Silver Arrows just giving the Red Bulls a little bit of a run for their money for the time being.
Red Bulls look on top of their game. And remember, Gav did that on Super Soft, so he's definitely got more. And I think the gap should be more than 3/10 between the two tyres, so...
Yeah. I think it's more from ultras to softs. It should be closer to a second. 8/10 to a second, possibly over a single lap.
Clouds starting to get darker. I wonder what this could mean for potential weather conditions on the way.
Yeah, it's true. Well, from sunny to overcast, grip levels goes down automatically. The cars are
And when it rains at the Circuit of Americas, it really rains at the Circuit of Americas. They actually had problems building this track because it's built in part of it is built in a floodplain.
Yeah. You know, they always want to do everything better in Texas, eh?
Everything's bigger in Texas. The Lone Star State.
Just looking at the vet coming into the pits, it looks like everybody's in except Fricky's still pounding around, and he's actually jumped from 8th to 6th. So doing a three lap run on his tires and just keeps on improving.
Seems like a couple of drivers have parked it up for the time being. They're safe, concentrating on what they're going to do differently in Q3.
Seeker is on a quick one, just to cement his place in that top 10, because it is from 6th downwards to 10th is quite close.
And if they're saying there may be rain in the race at some point, what do you do in qualifying? Does it affect your setup? Do you adjust your setup knowing that it's going to rain? Does it influence your setup?
That is a choice every driver takes if they want to, you know, get a more stable car in raining conditions, but they will obviously sacrifice some speed in the drive. So it depends on them.
So a race with a bit of rain always brings in human error and makes results very unpredictable.
Most drivers prefer to keep more of a dry setup if it goes to rain. But yeah, it depends from driver, I suppose, and teams.
If the judge now pulling off the track.
I can see here in the right hand corner of my screen here the chat. We've got a couple of guys in the chat here, and we've got actually Nizmax that's sitting in 3rd position telling me that it is a full wet race.
It's a full wet race.
And that's what the word is. That is obviously Jeff relaying the messages to the drivers there.
Well, that changes everything, doesn't it? Going up into that first corner on a wet race. Tires are cold, brakes are cold. Gonna make for a very interesting race.
Yes,
100% wet race.
Hopefully the guys can keep it clean and everybody can get through there unscathed. But yes, turn 1, Kota always synonymous with a couple of incidents. couple of people here asking for the link to the stream, which I'll just post quickly.
As it stands in Q2, not a lot of activity on track. The top four remain the same. It's got Robbie, the 134.8. And we've got Gavin and Nismax, the two Red Bulls, both just 0.3 of a second behind in second and third. And then a further 3 seconds behind we have Vet. Bit of a gap up to fifth, second behind. But it seems like not much is changing on the leaderboard right now. Everyone waiting for Q3.
Just riding on board with Death Seeker. Dortussen coming out in a Ferrari for his first run, doing his first hot lap.
And he's pulled off the side of the track, he's retired. Everyone ready for Q3.
Springbok Gamer also pounding around just to try and improve, just to make sure he makes it into Q3. Seeing that sometimes if there are not enough drivers on the grid, they normally only take the first 9 instead of the top 10.
It's a bit of a mystery to me, to be quite honest, because I've been in lobbies with a final top 7 in the Q3 session, so I'm not sure how they work it out.
Yeah. Oof.
Bit of a lock-up.
Yeah, Ati running wide there.
Very important corner there. That braking point is very important. You've got to get the braking point right in order to get the acceleration out of the corner right. That main straight is 1 kilometer long, and if you get it wrong, you're going to lose vital top end speed.
Yes, a lot of time. Oh, another snap of oversteer there. He can, let's just see if we can see if he's got fuel for another run. He does indeed, he's got another 2.5 laps worth of fuel in the car. So I'm sure you'll have another dip. Ends up with a 38.5, which is a lot slower than his fastest. Let's just go on board with him. Decent exit out of turn 1. I'm not sure if my eyes are deceiving me, but I'm seeing a spot of rain here and there. I don't know if you can see the same thing, Jonathan. Maybe that's why he's been running wide a bit.
I just spotted it as you were talking. I just spotted a spot of rain. That would make Q3 very interesting.
Yes, that will spice things up quite nicely.
I saw the cloud cover getting a bit darker at the beginning of Q2 and thought to myself, well.
Yes, Ati struggling with traction. You can clearly see the rain having an effect. So, which would make him safe in Q3, presuming that the top 10 or top 9 goes through. We'll have to wait and see.
10th and 11th already retired, so I think he should be safe.
Oh, running wide there. Yeah, no, grip levels are definitely down. I'm sure the other drivers will be interested to see. Oh dear, oh dear.
Missing the pit entry.
that's it.
Not really conditions you want to be driving in when the rain begins to fall and you're clearly on the wrong tyre. But
Yeah,
there
and you're
is no
trying to...
right tyre to be on at that point, so off
So
you two. Got Robbie in first place, Gav in second, Max in third, the two Red Bulls and a Merc at the top.
Indeed. And we've got the Renault of TnB DW, the vet. Captain Ice in the Ferrari in P5. Fricky in P6, well done. And Wes on P7. Let's just have a look who goes through to Q3.
We wait in anticipation.
Yes, indeed, Jonathan, we've got
The rain seems to be coming down.
a good sprinkle of rain. This looks like intermediate conditions instead of full wets.
Seems like we have a top 10, so it looks like Fossey has lost his place in this session.
Yes, indeed.
We have a McLaren going out first.
McLaren going
McLaren
out.
Let's
go out on board with him. Have a look how our conditions are. Yes. Just trying to get the telemetry and everything going here so we can have all the information we can get.
And the first time you go around these S's in the wet, you realize that they're a very different set of corners in the wet.
Yes. Other thing, Jonathan, in TnB, Parkville May is not on, so the drivers do have an opportunity to change the setup if they feel they want to or need to. So I wonder if some of them chucked some extra wing on there.
We're going to add some extra wind and rain. It is one of the more difficult tracks because you've got high-speed corners where you need the downforce, and you've got really long straights where you don't want the downforce.
Yes.
So either way, you've got to be willing to lose something.
You have to get that fine balance.
If you want to be comfortable in the corners, you've got to be willing to lose speed on the straights, and if you want the speed on the straights, you've got to be willing to hold on to a crazy car.
Yeah, indeed, Jonathan.
For 100% race distance. And that's what makes it a little bit more tough.
Weasley just winding himself up at the final corner. We'll go on board with him for the first sector just to see what the grip is like. The Honda motor singing down the main straight. Oof, locking up a tiny bit. Still making the apex. Getting a decent exit. Not choosing to short shift, which is quite interesting. Oh yes, you can see it's a little bit slick.
Taking a conservative in the second part of the S's there.
Oh, going a bit
Conditions
wide.
obviously not very pleasant. Importantly, gets a good exit onto the main straight.
Yes, indeed. Let's just go back to Max in the Red Bull and see how he's finding things. Yes, tough going. Cut back to Wesley just to see. He will set the first lap time. Oh dear, it goes a little bit wide. A little bit of lag I'm seeing there. Oh dear, a lot of lag. Let's cut back to Max. Going through the third sector.
Just joining Wezo as he goes around the final corner back onto the main straight. Obviously no DRS to activate. Over the line in a 1:51.4. Difficult to gauge if it's a good lap or not because this is our first session in the wet.
Yes, indeed.
Robbie comes over the line in a 1:49.7.
Oh, 2 seconds quicker. Here comes Nismix.
Gap second on a 1:50 flat. So the gap is still close.
Nismix with a
regardless of the weather.
50.9. Yeah, quite tight at the top.
Top two.
Springbok Gamer starting a lap. Just try to see where the vet is. Also opting to come out a little bit later just to avoid traffic, I presume.
Just saving that Reynolds gearbox. We know how those can go. Just ask Red Bull. They seem to get all the bad ones.
Ah, sticks it in second. P2 for now.
Nicely done, a 1:49.8.
Let's just see what his fuel level
Just a tenth
is.
of a second.
Yeah, he's got another 3 laps in the car, so he's opting to probably go for a couple of hot ones. Maybe pull in for another set of tires. And Robbie, to be fair to him, also doing the same. He's still harassing this Mercedes. Oversteering and understeering, bending it in all kinds of shapes. Oh,
I think it's an important qualifying session because if it's going to be a full wet race, I think you want to be on that front row heading into that first corner.
yes, you don't want to be stuck in the dirty air. And as I say that, he opts to go into the pits and misses it. Oh dear. Now let's go back to the vet. On the straight. Good clean braking, hooking up the apex, getting a decent exit. Got Radio Girl here in the comments asking where do they sell the cool drink and popcorn. Around these parts there's not much cool drink. That's all I'm going to say, Jonathan.
Not a lot of cool drink. And if you're going to need something, the organisers are terrible. You're probably going to have to get Uber Eats or something like that if you're hungry. The organisers here at TnB haven't been hired yet.
Here we go, the vet sticking it on pole for the time being. Got Gav Pig in the pits, no doubt just getting a fresh set of rubber on that Red Bull. And this makes also
it's going to be it's an interesting qualifying session because I think the last place you want to be is in the middle. I think between 4th and 7th, I wouldn't want to be in one of those positions going into turn 1.
Definitely. I'm just on board here with Frikkie, having a look, and you can see his GT Sport colours coming through. He's drifting that car through the S's, coming through onto the main back straight here. Looks like he's on a decent run.
Definitely some alien driving styles there. Alien to F1 anyway.
Runs a tiny bit wide there. And a tricky
Top 3
right
for the
hand corner.
time being. The vet, Robbie and Gav, and I can tell you Gav's just started a new outfit.
Okay, one to watch.
So he's going to have first go at trying to improve.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left, I think the guys in the pits, it was not too far for them to get out there and try stick it in.
Can also depend on the weather conditions if you come out at the last second, if the track's getting faster or if it's getting slower.
Definitely. The
could drastically affect your time the later you come out.
The vet also just behind Fricky, just bettering his time there.
1:49.3.
So instead of going into the pits for new rubber, he just kept it out there and just kept on going quicker and quicker. So let's have a look.
He's retired for the remainder of the session. He feels he's safe. That's a 1:49.3, so he's
he's leaving it up to
just
the other
about
guys
half a second clear.
to chase him. And we go on
Just
board
about
here
half
with
a
Gavin,
second clear.
starting his last flying lap. Got some traffic coming out of the pits there. Let's just hope they get out of the way. Oh, got a bit distracted there.
That's the problem, is sometimes the guys do get out of the way right straight away, but it
distracts
still
you.
just that little something in the corner of your eye that shouldn't be there.
No. Well, he should be able to get another lap in, provided he's got enough fuel. If he feels like this one is not quick enough. Going onto the back straight. No doubt having that Red Bull and rich fuel mix zinging down the straight, yeah.
Toto Wolff's obviously not happy with second. It's not good enough, and he sent Robbie out on another outlap. And he needs to find half a second if he's going to improve.
Let's just see how Nismax and the sister Red Bull. Starting a lap, yeah. Gets turn one sorted.
Gavin now going around the final bend. See if he improves.
I made a mistake just in that second sector, so I don't think so.
He does still improve, but just a bit. Not enough to make a position change. Just a slight improvement. 10th of a second. Still got time to make another lap. He did get over the line before the checkered flag.
Yeah, I presume so, yeah. So we'll cut back to him, because obviously Nismax will finish his hot lap before Gavin does. The two Red Bulls taking one last stab at it. It looks, following Nismax here, it looks like he's on a better lap. He's having a solid one. Short shifting for better traction. Looks like he's got some experience in the rain.
It's a very important factor in the rain. You'd rather go slower, but not spin your wheels.
Yeah, it's slow in, fast out, Jonathan. It's the name of the game in the wet. Coming towards the
around the final corner now.
Nailing
it's a better exit than Gavin did.
Oh, goes second.
And that's that. Second place, a 1:49.4. Just a tenth of a second away from first. Very good lap time at the end there.
Gavin coming through the triple right. Second to last corner. Hooks it up nicely. Driving towards the final corner.
Much better this time around. Gets a good exit.
Oh, he sticks
and
it on pole.
A 1:49 flat. Nicely done.
Well done, Gavin.
Wasn't happy with that position, and he went for another one, and he got it. Red Bull's landing up first and fourth for the time being. Robbie improves. He goes second.
Yes, indeed. Just wanted to say, I missed that one slightly. A bit of inexperience, but yeah, well done to the Silver Arrow of Robbie, sticking it in second, front row.
Well, that's the qualifying session for round 7 for the United States. Gavin in first, Robbie second. got the Vet in third, Nizmax fourth, and Wes in fifth. Tricky sixth, Ati seventh, the Debutant in eighth, Captain Ice in ninth, and Dead Seeker in 10th.
Yes, indeed, Jonathan. Looking forward to the race. Should be quite close at the top.
I think the beginning, the first 2 or 3 laps is going to be very important in the rain. How you keep it clean, it could destroy a lot of races right from the beginning.
Yes.
So I think patience is going to be very important at the beginning.
Just try to send the invite there, Jonathan. Sorry, I don't think I can. If I do it on the stream, it's just gonna give a blue screen there. It would be a shame to lose him. So here we go then, Jonathan. We've got a formation lap. Some of the guys you can see is not ready for that.
We start off on the formation lap, and for some reason it's been in TnB for a couple of rounds now. We've been racing with formation lap, but it still seems to catch the odd car by surprise.
Definitely. Well, with any luck, the vet should be able to take his car back over before the race starts, before the final formation lap. So let's go through the order. Then we've got Gav Pig, pole position, Robbie in second, Nizmax in third. The vet due to start in P4. And we've got Wesley in P4 showing. So let's hope we can get the judge driver back.
Everybody seems to be a bit scrambled up on the formation lap.
Yeah, just testing the grip levels.
Also, Timber joining us in 11th place.
Oh yes, good to see Timbo.
He joined us quite late. He didn't take part in the qualifying, so he'll be starting from the back. Can always be an interesting addition to any Grand Prix.
Oh yes, Timbo, good lad. Good driver, in all fairness. When he pitches up on form, he can be top pace. Coming through the final corner here. David, kom je in? Oh,
I don't know.
Done by the final car lining up. And here we go.
Here we go. 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And let's go.
And
it was a late start there.
Nizmax having a good start, and Robbie in the Mercedes as well. Gav, oh, just pinching the back there, losing a bit of his wing. Nizmax running deep. But it... looks like we've... oh dear, the Ferrari touching the Red Bull. Oh dear.
Captain Ice retiring. The
And
first
here's
victim.
Max also retiring, which is a shame.
And Weza, who seemed to be having problems, has left the session for the time being. Back at the front for the time being, we've got Gavin first. He's followed closely by Robbie. And then we have a bit of a gap down to third place forming already. 4 seconds. So the top two getting clear.
Just looking at the position changes, we've got Death Seeker jumping 3 spots, so having a good...
A lot of position changes there in the middle of the order.
Cutting back to the front, we've got Gavin with Robbie in close company.
They're just eking out that lead a little bit now, going over a second for the first time in the race.
Yes, but as you can see, he's missing the end plate, so he'll be hurting a little bit. Understeering a bit more than usual, especially in the wet when you need all the downforce you can get. But doing a good job at the moment. Max showing front wing damage and the game retires him. That's bad luck. Unfortunately,
Judge in third place, actually driving a nice clean race. He's got a 5-second buffer either way, 5 seconds ahead and 5 seconds behind. Just needs to keep it clean, and he could get a good result here today. Still a long way to go.
A podium
54 laps to go.
We've got Timbo just cutting to Timbo, making up positions, 6 positions up from the back.
Up to 5th.
Oh, the man from the UK. Yeah, I bet he knows these conditions. Just slowing down there, I think he made a bit of a illegal overtake. Cutting the corner, yes indeed, he gets a bit of a penalty.
Obviously the vet having all sorts of problems, leaving again.
Yes, I think he lost his head a little bit, which is a shame. He's got a bit of a history with disconnections, which is obviously no fault of his own. It's just bad luck.
The gap at the front staying consistent. Robbie's brought it down just a bit. 7/10 of a second now the gap. Third place continues to fall back. So the top two just at the moment they seem to be taking about a second out a lap from the rest.
Robbie trying to get a good run out of this final corner to get a run on the straight. Popping in the fastest lap.
He takes the fastest lap. So just letting Gav know he's there.
Yeah,
just in case he's forgotten. Just in case he's not looking in his mirrors. Just put a big purple sign on the screen, let him know you're there.
Timbo starting to catch Death Seeker. And forcing not far behind in the second Silver Arrow. Doing a good job in P6, starting from the back. So it looks like the guy starting from the back having a better time of it.
It seems like it was the better place to be, actually.
Yes, indeed.
I think you either wanted to be on the front row or the last row.
Definitely.
It's from the last row. You've got the best seats in the house to watch the action as it unfolds.
One of the retired drivers, Captain Ice, joining us here. Captain Ice, unlucky a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, normally lean mix will promote better traction, especially from a standing start. Yeah, just yeah. Yeah, Nizmax saying the same thing. He's got a broken wing and the game retired him. Unfortunately, we've got a few retirements and a few cars ghosting with probably some connection problems. So it looks like it. Yeah, we've only got basically 7 runners. It looks like. Unfortunately, in Team B normally we've got a full grid, or at least like anything from
At least
15
in the high
to
teens.
yeah 18, 19 people.
But now
Which
we're down to 7 runners, still 8 people in the lobby, but 3 of those cars are ghosting around.
yeah, well, I don't
And
think it's internet.
he's had similar issues in the past, so
Yeah,
I can understand his frustration.
it's probably Codemasters having a hand in that, unfortunately. But anyway, back to the
Going back
front.
to third, the judge continues to have a consistent race,
Yes, indeed.
just keeping to himself.
Oh,
That gap to fourth is being extended lap by lap. And yeah, if he can keep it consistent, if he can keep all 4 wheels on the tarmac, could be a potential podium here.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now that battle at the front, we're 4 laps in, and the gap hasn't changed much. They're matching each other corner for corner.
Yeah, I was half expecting Robbie to mount a challenge with. Let's just see if he's got damage. No, he doesn't have damage. So I was kind of expecting him to give Gavin a harder time, but Gavin, with the front wing damage, doing very well, to be honest.
They're doing a fantastic job to keep that sort of speed at the lead of the race with a broken wing.
Yes. I'm just
We know
having
that
a
this
look
track
at
can be.
Death Seeker as well. He's got 2 end plates missing on both sides. And yeah, he must having a little bit of understeer in that Toro Rosso. Timbo going well in 5th place, catching all the time. Yes, indeed.
I don't know if Gav made a bit of a mistake there, but if you look on the timing, the gap has come down.
Yes, I'm just cutting back to it now. And we can.
It came down briefly to 0.2 of a second. So these two really matching each other corner for corner, and it's going to come down to who makes the mistake. Because if they keep going like this, you can't call the winner.
Yes, indeed. Well, something to keep us interested. And Fossey
Unfortunately,
also
it's
not.
the only battle on the track at this time. No other
Yes.
battles on the track. Seems like open spaces.
Oh no, I'm having a look. Just going through the car, seeing who's got damage, and it looks like Atti's also got some damage. So it's Atti, Death Seeker, and obviously Gavin with some front wing damage. Yeah, in 6th position, doing very well.
These two in the front, just maintaining it, keeping the gap the same. Nobody seems to be taking any risks for the time being.
No,
Just seem to be following each other around. Don't want to make any errors at this early stage. Judge still in third place. Dead Seeker in fourth, going around in the Toro Rosso.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be Dotterson. He made a pit stop. Oh dear, he is ghosting, so not sure if he's still in the car. No, it's still ghosting. So Ferrari not having a good race.
Not at all a good race. I wouldn't want to be in the garage right now with Mario Rivaberni occasionally staring over and giving you that look.
Yeah, true.
Well, if the Haas counts as a Ferrari, then there is one on the podium at the moment.
Ooh, Robbie
Maybe
getting
they should sign the Judge.
Robbie getting a...
Maybe it's time for a Ferrari promotion for the Judge.
Robbie getting very close in the final corner. They're having a look at Gavin, just touching him. Let's have a look. He's still got all these end plates and winglets. But as you can see him closing up in the S section. Yeah, I think he's battling in that first sector with his front wing. Yes. Let's just have a look.
He's losing a lot of time in that section of the track. So obviously
Running a bit wide. Robbie getting a decent
exit. There's no DRS, but he will get a bit of slipstream.
Yeah, but I think with a couple of disconnects, I think slipstream has died as well. Yeah,
Judge still going around in third place. 10 seconds off that lead battle now.
Ooh, Robbie having a look.
But continues to extend the gap to fourth. The leaders, the weather conditions, just making things a little bit nervous in the commentary box. We don't want to see a collision.
Oh, Robbie with a brilliant exit. Side by side.
Side by side. Up the rise.
Ooh,
And it comes down to braking.
Well done.
It was nicely done. He shut the door, and he shut the door just enough. Very nicely done. Keeps the lead for now, but that gap is extremely close now, 0.2 of a second. Keeping that gap now 9.5 seconds now to the leading battle, but more importantly he's extending that gap to fourth. Everybody seems to be having quite a calm race at this time. Nobody making huge gains.
Yeah, now that they on the inters, I don't know, I think they can maybe stretch it to a one-stopper as well. So
yeah, you
strategy,
can do a one-stopper around here on the inters, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think strategy will be too much of a key like if it was dry.
No, definitely not. When it's dry, it just throws a whole bunch of different options into the race when it's dry. I mean, You've got to take tyre compound into account, and now everybody's on the same tyre, so it takes a whole element out of the race.
Yes.
They're closing the gap.
You'll be hoping these two locked into battle, and you'll go. Oh, Gavin goes wide.
Robbie takes the lead, and now it will be interesting over the next couple of laps. Was Gavin holding him up? We'll see straight away. If he starts running away,
yeah, definitely. Now that Robbie's got some clean air in front of him,
that will be interesting to
Mercedes
see
will
if
be
third
working
place
well.
can make any. Be interesting to see if third place can make any impression there on Gav. That gap coming down.
Definitely. Gavin.
I think what happened there was Gavin was doing a fantastic job to keep the car on track, but he was definitely having problems with that end plate, and he was holding Robbie up in the process.
Yeah.
Because now that gap up to 2 seconds. And is this the last we see of Robbie? Will he just drive off into the distance, or is somebody going to set up a challenge?
Well, I think he's putting the hammer down
now. What will
now.
the second half of this race bring?
He's putting the hammer down now to build a little bit of a buffer, so he'll have a comfortable pit stop. Oh, Gavin into the pits. He's had enough of that front wing. Which is, he'll just be losing time, fair enough. So I think this call is the better one. Yes.
Lap 10 now.
Just see where he gets out. So that promotes the judge into second place. Very well done.
That does promote him into second place. It'll be interesting to see now if Gav can get back into second now that he's got his car fully assembled again.
And Timbo also, we've got Desik also had enough of his front wing in the pits, and we've got Timbo into fourth.
With 46 laps remaining, do you think you can make this second set last all the way, or?
I don't think so, Jonathan, to be honest. I think it's a stretch, but we don't know. Maybe with intermediate conditions and being Texas, it might just dry up towards the end. So
I actually think maybe Gav was just holding out, and while he had Robbie behind him, he was thinking, I'll just stay out with the broken wing, and the moment he passed him, he said it was Tom.
Yes, indeed.
Still had track position, he had no reason to come in. But now Robbie extending that gap.
Yeah, seeing that.
Robbie extending that gap. A lap ago, the gap was 10 seconds. It's now 12.3 seconds. So.
Yes, he's doing well. Mercedes working well in the wet, in clear air.
Mercedes always works best in clear air.
Indeed it does, Jonathan. Just keep, yes, indeed, I can see that. Ati.
Should be interesting. Is the Merc having a problem? Does it have any damage? I don't see any damage.
No, it doesn't look like it. I think he just had a little bit of a moment somewhere.
Like he just.
Yeah, Ati's still got that wing damage as well, so well done to him to catch up. He's just have a look through this.
Obviously, try and take it as long as you can, because the later you stop, you can turn it into a one-stop. So if you can manage, both keep on going.
Yes. Oh. I'm just seeing a little bit of a lag spike on my screen there. Yeah. Yes, indeed, it was 15 seconds when he came out of the pit. So Gavin enjoying a full front wing.
Seems like Forcia has just found some. Seems like Forcia has just found some stability, getting that gap back up to 1.1 seconds. So.
Oh yes. Well, with that new rubber
Nicely
also.
done in third place.
He's
He was
hungry.
14 seconds behind the judge, and now it's down to 11. So he's enjoying that new front wing, making the most out of it.
Sorry guys, I'm just currently stopping at catering quickly, just making a cup of coffee, seeing as it's rainy outside and a little bit chilly.
Here we go, we're on lap 12. Let's just have a rundown. Robbie's in front.
Yeah, he's disconnected, so it's just these guys
Yeah,
going
we have a couple of cars ghosting. We have 3 cars ghosting at the moment. The 3 final positions, 8th, 9th and 10th. 7 runners at the moment.
Yeah, just to mention, we had a few drivers missing out on this race tonight to start with, and then obviously we had a couple of technical issues that forced out some of the others. So it's a shame, being that it is the first stream, but it is.
We also have a new driver joining us next week. He was supposed to be with us tonight.
Oh yes, Little Piece. Yes.
That's what we want to see. We want to get up to full grids every week.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there, Jonathan. This still being a test session. Okay, good news. You never know. There's still quite a distance to
The
go.
battle for second.
It's hotting up. I'm looking.
Seem to have missed some action on track, but there's a battle for second. We've got Gavin right behind Frickie, just 3/10 of a second behind. It's going to be interesting now. Is he going to make his move going onto the straight, coming off the straight? 2 very important braking points coming up now.
Yeah. We've got
Takes about 25 seconds to make a pit stop here.
Cheers,
so
Nismax, supporting his teammate. Having a run, going on board with him. Yeah, definitely this.
But I think Gavin knows if Gavin's gonna challenge Robbie later on in the race, he needs to pass, and he needs to start making up time. This fight cannot go on for too long. The only real battle on track at the moment is for second place.
Yes.
Everything else seems pretty spread out. Staying in touch, staying in that 1 second margin. Just hovering. a good range to be in. If the guy in front makes a mistake, it's close enough to capitalize. Up the rise, into first corner. Don't get distracted by the ghost.
Good exit.
That can
from
be
the
a
judge.
terrible place to catch a car.
Good exit from him there.
Can really affect your concentration.
Gav catching up in the second part of these S's. Oh!
Just
Snapped.
running wide there.
He saw a gap, trying to put the throttle down and just oversteering at the crucial moment. But
And
no,
I wonder if Ricky just secretly exhaled there in his helmet for a second as he gets a bit of reprieve.
I'm
But
sure
not
he
for
is.
long.
Yeah,
9/10 of a second and Gav is back on the job
yeah,
as they head down the main straight now. Very important braking point coming up.
Gavin enjoying the fresh rubber. Yes, Nismax, it is coffee I'm drinking. Thank you, mate. Just asking me in the chat here what in my shoe I'm drinking coffee. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Of course it's coffee, and if it wasn't, you'd never know.
Yeah, it's my secret.
Coffee tequila, maybe.
Oh dear, no, Jonathan.
But back to the race.
Ooh,
The guys that
Gavin
are
having a
clearly
good
not on
run.
tequila.
He's gonna stick it up the inside, I'm sure. Oh, Fricky gives him space. And Gavin is through.
Ricky gave him a lot of space. It was clean.
Yeah, good driving from both the drivers there. Yeah, the
And
gap
Judge
up
has
is-
been having a consistent race. He has spent this entire race distance in third.
Yeah, yes. Robbie stretching that lead to 31 seconds. Boy, the man is in a hurry.
Also, a lot of the drivers on the day not big fans of wet weather conditions. In the dry, sometimes we see the gaps a lot closer. But these conditions lead to these sort of results.
Definitely.
Stop. What we need now.
Yeah, he is gaining a tiny bit, but not by any.
Closing the gap just a little bit. But
It's
now
not
Judge
big
making
increments. It's quite small, but he enough to put some pressure back on Robbie. Robbie would be thinking,
Judge
when
making a
is
bit
the
of a
time to
mistake.
quit? Let's just go on board here with Robbie and see how the car's handling.
30 seconds clear at the front.
Yeah, of course. It's good to see supporting his teammate, even if he was unfortunate enough to have an early exit. Would have been nice to have him in the mix here in the podium positions. And yourself, Captain Ice, of course.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate start to the race.
Yeah, it's true. And I don't think it can be the streaming affecting, because obviously I'm not hosting, so I will have a look into it.
Probably for now, maintaining that gap at 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just
See
riding on
the
board
grip
with
on this
Robbie. He's
race.
having a lot of oversteer, but he's controlling the car beautifully.
I would love to know how many laps Robbie has done in a Merc. He must know every aspect of that car.
Yes, he's a diehard Mercedes fan. Probably, yeah, and he's not falling away a lot from Gavin. Yeah, no, definitely the most improved driver in TnB by a comfortable margin.
Just extended that gap up to 18 seconds now. It's taking off a second out of Robbie on that last lap.
I think he'll be hoping for some dry weather later on when it's his time to pit, just to even things out a little bit.
Gaps all seem to be stable at the moment. Nobody seems to be making any ground. And there's no battles on track.
Pretty spread out for
We
the
have Robbie
moment.
at the front, that gap coming down now to 29.1 seconds. So Gavin is making up a bit of time, and he's got a lot of time left in this race to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
3 of the drivers have made pit stops so far. Gavin has made a pit stop. Tika has made a pit stop. And our debutant in 10th has made a pit stop. The rest of the drivers still yet to visit the pit lane.
Yeah. Ati running a little bit wide there. He was just gaining on Fossey with some front wing damage.
Robbie now getting some time back, extending that lead back up to 30.5 seconds. So I don't know if Gav made a bit of a mistake. But right now, a big gap at the front, and what's needed from Gavin second is consistency. He needs to be quick, and he needs to keep being quick. And that's the only way he can make up the difference. Pit stop here in the USA takes about 25 seconds. The gap is 30 seconds. So Robbie would still come out in the lead.
Yeah, the question is how far can he take
Needs to bring that gap down to about 20 seconds. But he probably has to stop a second time. He stopped pretty early in this race.
Yeah, he would. I would think he would have to.
If he stops twice, it means he's going to end the race on the newer of the tyre. So
Oof, Ati, a bit hasty on the throttle, losing it on the exit there on the back straight. Yes. Oh, he's answering you, Jonathan. He's showing you that Red Bull does have indeed some pace. As the fuel burning down. I think he's gonna take a trip to the pit. Gavin drifting.
If you're going to lose
around
that
the corners.
amount of time, if the damage is so severe that you're going to lose that amount of time, there really is no other option but to pit. You want to hold on to track position, but Death Seeker just now 4 seconds adrift and closing in fast.
Yeah, definitely.
Still a long way to go. Very long race in very difficult conditions, and anything can still happen. Just takes one mistake around the wrong corner and this track can be very unforgiving in places. And he's going to rejoin the track in 7th out of 7 runners. But now with being on lap 20, can those intermediates last till the end? It'll be interesting to see. I haven't had a look at the weather. I don't know what the end of the race. I don't know if it's going to race. But if there's a bit of dry at the end, it could.
Yeah, you never know. Gavin drifting the car beautifully.
Going around the track, right?
Oh dear.
That's what
he's
see when you're
serving it
driving
now.
into the pit lane.
He's serving it now, so that will give Fossi some hope, gain some time. He's changing his wings. Oh dear. And Timbo changing his front wings.
Oh, I'll tell
so
you who
must have
that's
had an
good news
incident
for.
somewhere.
That's good news for Judge, because that gap to 4th is now sitting at 50 seconds.
Yeah, indeed.
54, just under a minute actually. So the top 3 look pretty secured at the start.
But yeah, I'm thinking we are entering the pit stop window now. So we'll keep
Well, it's
an
going
eye
to be
on the
good
front
points for
runners.
everybody who finishes, with only 7 runners. Can finish last of the runners and still bag a few points.
Yeah, definitely.
And make the most of it and get to the end.
Well, by my calculation, if I'm not mistaken, with the big contenders in the championship sitting out, and Gavin in on podium and Robbie, so either Robbie and Gavin will jump in the championship. Yeah, they'll gain some points there. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll attend another race or not. Or rather, I'll put some effort into streaming and getting it off the ground.
So you may still get the itch to get behind the wheel every now and then.
Yeah, no, look, I had the itch before starting the stream because I do like this track, but seeing it slippery like this, let's say the
I'd rather be in the
boxes,
commentary box.
the commentary box is comfortable.
I'll be back on track.
You will
I
be,
don't know about
especially
Friday nights on TnB, but I'll definitely be back on track in some form.
Just keeping my eye. Robbie going for another lap, So not pitting yet. Foresee only 9 seconds behind Timbo, so we'll keep an eye on that gap as well.
Gap remains now at 29 seconds, just hovering between 29 and 31 seconds. So not a change at the top.
Yeah, it's such a shame Gavin got that front wing damage. It robbed us from a magnificent race at the front because they're so close on pace.
Yeah, they were fantastic on pace. The qualifying sessions, they were matching each other, and in the wet they were matching each other.
I'm just seeing some lag on my screen, yeah.
Also
Never
having
nice
a
to
few
see.
issues on my side, just waiting for things to stabilize again.
Who's hosting, by the way? Sorry for
Not
asking.
entirely sure.
Is it Jay, Johan? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll catch that up, scoring some vital points for Ferrari.
It's always nice to get points on debut, regardless
Yes.
of how you got them.
Yeah.
You can always nobody can ever say that you can always hold that. You can always say in my debut TnB race I finished in the points.
Yes.
And that's impressive.
Yeah, no, he's the top two
Some
definitely
records you
close
can
on
just
pace.
never take away. Just like Pastor Maldonado will always be known as F1 race winner. Pastor Maldonado.
Well, I won't forget that race. I watched it, and yeah, it was
What a race
good.
it was.
It
It
was a
was
good
one of
race.
those classic Spain races that just throws up amazing results. Having a difficult time at the back. And obviously we've also just got to remember that for the debutant, this is not exactly the conditions you wanna make your first appearance on.
Yes, rain makes you nervous. I remember my debut was in the rain as well, and in Abu Dhabi, not to mention rain in the desert. It was quite frightening. Yes, let's cut back to him. Definitely. Quite impressed with Death Seeker. He had a small mistake in a wing change. But to be this high up in the grid, is oof. Death Seeker having a little bit of an oversteer moment there. I think we had a tiny bit of a comment.
So that gap at the lead now, getting into interesting territory. Getting to that 25-second mark, which we know is about the same as the window it takes to make a pit stop.
Yeah, I think he's
Then
trying
the
to...
gap down to third is more or less the same, another 23 seconds. So just about 50 seconds, just under a minute, covering the top three at the moment. But the top three are clear. by almost a minute from fourth. Well, Timbo's having a relatively good race. He's running around in fourth. Started this race in last.
Oh yes.
Didn't attend the qualifying session. So considering all of that and coming through those first 2 or 3 corners of carnage without damage.
Yeah. Ooh, that's sick.
Seems like it worked out quite well.
Just needs to keep his patience. Just keep some patience.
One of the examples of benefiting from starting at the back.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a blessing in disguise there, Jonathan.
I'll say it again, there's only 7 runners, but all 7 runners are, they're maintaining their times, they're putting in consistent lap times, and it is impressive. It's a long race and it's difficult conditions.
Not taking anything away from them, they're pushing 100%. They're laying it down on the track there. So, well done to these gentlemen. The only league I know that runs 100%
laps done now, so 25 laps done now, so if we were having a 50% race, we'd be almost done.
Yeah.
But we're only halfway.
Yeah, as South Africans, we like to be a little bit different.
We just enjoyed putting in that extra twist, and we enjoy the push. And it really is a push, because I've finished a few of these 100% races, and at the end you're not really in the mood to talk to anybody in the party. You just want to go.
Yeah, true.
There's no 5 lappers or chit chat. You're just like, okay guys, cheerio.
Just thinking back now at the start of the season where I managed to win Russia and I had the vet within a second of me the whole race, and after that I was gone. I was completely gone. I put all my effort in the race, and yeah, it's surprising how much mental capacity it takes.
I've had a very eventful and unlucky season, so I don't mind being in the commentary box today. I've raked up a total of 14 points, and all 14 of those amazing points were scored in my first 2 races of the season. So, yeah.
Underselling yourself there, Jonathan. You are proper. Oh yes, that. Yeah, no, that was thinking back on my Formula 1 career.
In order to finish 100%, it takes a lot of concentration.
Yeah.
And when you're done and when you go over the finish line and you just switch off, then you realize how tired you are. You sort of feel it when there's 20 laps to go and you're like, how can there be 20 laps to go? How am I going to do this? But when you get over the line, then you realize how tired you are, because you relax and then you're like, wow.
Let's have a look. I've got a feeling Robbie would be coming into the pits now.
Does he come into the pits? No, he doesn't. He stays out.
Yeah, no, he stays out.
Robbie stays out. If that gap continues, that gap continues to come down, but he stays out.
Yeah, I think he's managing the gap, so he'll have fresher tires by the end of the race, which is not a bad ploy. Rather take the pain now. Yeah. As we say, well, Gavin with another fastest lap.
Need to stop. Now he goes around and does the fastest lap. He's making an impression on this time. It's 23 seconds now.
Yeah,
And just going through the S's, the time is coming down. So,
and all it took was
or
that little touch in the first corner that cost him this 30 seconds, that little wing damage. So I'm sure he's ruining that fact. But still putting in a solid effort.
27 laps. So we're almost at half race distance. And I wonder what's the condition of those tires. Are they just falling off a little bit, or?
Yeah, I'm going on board with him now, and you can see he's battling for traction. So I think the rears, and then
Coming out of the corner.
yeah, no, he's managing.
You'd be surprised in conditions like this. It usually benefits you on twisty parts of the circuit to just put the car in lean.
Yes, naturally in
Because
wet
when you
weather
come out of the
conditions.
corners, your acceleration is you're a lot less likely to spin, and so you save fuel and you don't waste time.
In a wet
So it
race,
makes for much better traction. The only time you'd want to switch your fuel level up is when you do get a straight.
yeah, normally in wet weather conditions, you can probably get away with underfueling the car with a couple of laps. That's what I normally do. Yeah, no, he's been running in the
23
pit
seconds.
window, I would say about the last 5-6 laps now.
It's interesting. He initially dropped 2 seconds about 3 laps ago, and now he's maintaining it at 23.
Oh dear. I wonder if he had it. I wonder if he had an incident there with Fossey. Because he was closing.
So that Seeker is up to 2 pit stops now, going around in 7.
The judge also pitting. Yes. So let's keep an eye on Robbie.
So they're
peels
almost
off
a
into
minute
the
behind
pits,
him,
yeah?
but
I bet you Jeff is ringing in Robbie's ears, begging him to come in. And he does indeed. Keeps it nice
Robbie
and
comes
clean.
in. When he came in, the lead was 22.6 seconds.
Let's have a look.
Let's see how much time he spends in the pits now.
Yeah, it's going to be a
So a
tight
clean
one.
race, so no need for a wing. He goes off.
He's coming onto the force, the finish home straight. Exiting. Yeah, it looks like he's got it still. Yeah, but he's got the fresher rubber now, so he'll be putting the hammer down, and with that extra bit of fuel.
So judging by that, a pit stop takes about 20 seconds.
Around about, yeah.
If there's no wing change involved or anything like that. But now, gonna monitor this gap at the lead. 3.3 seconds at the moment.
Now Gavin is pushing. I can see that Red Bull squirming when he puts the throttle down, so he is giving it plenty. I bet he'll just try to put some pressure on Robbie while he's close enough. Maybe trying to force him into a mistake. While Robbie's tires is coming up to temperature.
Well, Robbie seems to be maintaining. He seems to actually be extending the gap now. It's 3.7 seconds. So
Yeah, no. Look, the fresh rubber counts for a lot. You'll naturally just by age of tires, you'll probably be about 3 to 4 tenths quicker.
Well, those tires were old. They had 27 or 28 laps of racing on them. So now on fresh tires, car probably feels so much better than it did, and just extending that gap. Comes down slightly, and there, 3.9 now.
Yeah, it's all about the exits. He's got much better grip than what he had on the old set, so you'll be enjoying that.
Now coming up to a left car, it's a Ghost, shouldn't be a problem. No issues there. Getting a bit of opposite lock there. He's pushing. But Gavin's keeping it there. It goes up to 4 seconds. Next couple of laps are going to be very important because the gap is getting bigger and Gavin does need to stop again. Robbie can possibly take these tires to the end.
Yeah, I think Gavin's just trying to get close just to capitalize. If there is a mistake, and B, just to extend that gap to the judge just to secure that P2. Look, he's still got his whole front wing.
I think here that all it needs is a mistake in the S's and 2 seconds can appear on a gap very quickly. Well, fastest lap.
Yeah,
the new
no
rubber
surprises there.
it's showing 152.1.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Something to look forward to.
Gap now at the front, growing 5.5 seconds. Looking at the rest of the drivers. Got the judge in third.
Another leg spike there, unfortunately.
Fortunately, we can't follow Judge around the track because he's jumping violently, but still keeping consistent in third. And where did that come from? Judge sets the fastest lap. Nicely done.
Yeah, look, not to take anything away from the judge there. I think it's a little bit lag related. Yeah.
Could be lag related.
Gavin, sorry to interrupt, not to break your concentration, but are you seeing lag? Okay. So how's the car feeling for now? Yeah. Yeah, no, it cost you a lot. But in general,
And how are
having
your tires?
a strong race.
Can you take it to the end, or do you have to stop? Okay.
Yeah. Doing a good job on 30 lap old tires. It's well done.
You just need to stay as close to him, and all it takes is one mistake from the leader. It's been consistent up to now, but it's a long race.
Yeah, look, Jonathan, you hit the nail on the head there. Being in front by a comfortable margin is not always comfortable because you lose concentration thinking about other things. Yeah, I think the guys they're getting used to the wet track becoming second nature. And as we say it, Ati runs a bit wide in the braking zone. So that will give Death Seeker another couple of tenths. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure we'll have some more interesting races provided some drivers make it and don't get kicked out. Such a shame.
Timber, I think Timber has had the most lonely race.
Yeah,
He hasn't been near anyone for ages, and he's just kept that fourth place.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's wondering if there's still some guys on track.
Seems pretty much like a lonely race for most of the drivers, so I don't think there's been much time interacting.
Oh, Gavin peels off into the pits. So Gavin opting for some fresh rubber.
Well, you've still got about, what, 22 laps to go. He goes out. You can call it fresher rubber, but it's not much. It's got, what, 5 laps?
A good clean stop there from Red Bull, to be honest.
Good start, when he comes out, the time, the gap sits at 50 seconds.
Yeah, Gavin coming up to Fossey. I hope Fossey realizes that Gavin's there to lap and
Gets out of the way. Almost stops in the middle of the track.
It's well done.
No issues there. One of the drivers at TnB with a reputation for being very clean.
Yeah. To be fair, everybody is quite clean. Race etiquette really top notch from the guys. Yeah, this race is a little bit stagnant, but like I say, it's unfortunate the rain and we lost some drivers.
Where unfortunately there was the connection, so we lost a few drivers there, and then with the rain, we had 2 retirements basically on the first lap, and
Yeah.
another, what, a further 3 disconnections. So lap 1 had a lot of casualties.
Let's have a look at that battle. Yeah, just to come back to that, Jonathan, it's not even just the retirements we have and the glitches. Some big names missing tonight. Muna being one. Staffy also not
Yeah, no,
joining.
definitely.
So there is a lot of
Quebec
guys.
unfortunately missing out. He was here for qualifying, and he did have pace, but unfortunately he didn't get to the start.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope in future we'll have some better luck. I know
That gap
Ati
down to 2 seconds now.
not a big fan of the wet weather, but he's driving well. A couple of mistakes here and there, but not too bad. And to be fair to him, he's also, you can see he's not running any assists, so fair play to him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Haas would love to take that position. It would be great. All the points for them. Ooh. Squirming a bit with the oversteer there.
Just a bit eager to get on the power.
Yeah. Just have a look what his fuel looks like. Yeah, it's got 1.5 laps worth of fuel extra. So healthy. Dead Seeker 14 seconds behind closing. And the lone Ferrari in 8th position. Having a bit of a race with the ghosts, but he's winning it. Yeah. Fossey being the one that's only got a half a lap extra on fuel, so lean, yeah. Yeah, lean in wet weather is not bad, especially on the slower corners and traction zones. He'll probably gain a little bit, but in the straights he'll be hurting. It's just all, yeah. I'm gonna see now in the home straight if he bumps it up a couple of modes there. Keeps it in lean out of the traction zone. No, keeps it in lean. Yeah, you'll be hoping these two
Just riding on board now. Riding
battle.
on board now with the judge. Looking at his times. If you look at the gap between first and second, it's still 30 seconds. It hasn't moved. But if you look at the gap between second and third, it was 50 seconds. It's now 44. So he's actually gaining time. He's not in third by luck. He's quick, consistently quick.
After getting a decent exit there, now he's right on the back of Fossi. Going on the inside, side by side. Going into... Fossi keeps it on the outside. Brave on the brakes.
Runs wide.
Yes. Ooh, Atti. He's having an eventful race. He'll be enjoying it thoroughly. Good clean racing from the guys. Fossi being very brave on the brakes on the outside. Very good. They're running a bit wide. Fossi oversteering. It's all happening here. Atti just got onto the apex there. He couldn't put the throttle in properly because there's no grip on the apex.
He runs wide there at the first corner. The gap comes down immediately. It's back to less than a second. And something happened there in the yeses.
Yeah, Atti right on top of him.
Springbok Gamer has made up a lot of time in the yeses.
I'm on board with him. Oh, yeah, and he's got it. Looks like Fossi let him through. The unrelenting pressure was just too much for him.
And Atti goes up into fifth. And, well, what a day for us.
Well done to the gents from Haas. Gunther Steiner will be happy with that one.
Mario Rivabeni might Rivabeni might just take a walk down the pits and demand his parts back.
Ooh, he's pushing, he's trying to gain back on Atti. And he's getting there, good traction. Now Fossi opting to be the one giving pressure rather than receiving the pressure. Ooh, Atti getting onto that apex again. Ooh, it's sliding around. Yeah, he's licking his lips thinking Christmas has come early. Yeah, no, I'm thinking Death Seeker's got fresher rubber than these gentlemen. So he'll be licking his lips. Ooh, Fossi. It's good to see cars squirming around, oversteering, understeering, and just bending out of shape. Love it.
With that gap staying at 30 seconds, it just shows the consistency of these guys.
Yeah. Look, like we say, gents, doing 100%.
If there are mistakes, it seems to cancel each other out. Everybody's keeping a really good pace.
Yeah. Half a second on this lap. Oh yeah, no, I'm watching this battle. See, foresee, why are you still lean, mate? Bump it up a couple of modes. Yeah, no, put on lean, yeah, through the first sector. Oh,
Oh, onto the grass.
oh yeah, no,
And
those
you
tires are
don't want
dirty
to
now.
get grass on your tires just before the S's.
No, you can see him battling and Death Seeker in the background, gaining hand over fist now. Oh,
And you
Fossey is
can
still
see what
battling.
that did. That created a 2-second gap.
Yeah, he just needs to keep his composure. He'll get another opportunity. Oh yes. And Timbo wondering, is anybody in this race? Yeah, not the most eventful race for the man there.
Yeah, I think if he joined this race because he was feeling lonely, then this is not helping his cause. This is not helping his cause at all.
Fossey gaining again on Springbok game. Oh, and as I say that, he runs wide.
"15 laps to go."
Maybe a little mistake from Robbie. Let's just cut back to him. Must have made a mistake there in sector 3, snatching a break, possibly. Yeah, he's having a few issues with those tires. And Death Seeker really gaining only 3 seconds now.
Entering now the final phase of the race, and some of these guys are going to be on fresher tires, some of them are going to be on tires that are already being stretched, and going to be interesting to see some of the times.
I'm just keeping my eye on the rain and it's still trickling down constantly. To be honest though, I was kind of hoping it would let off a little bit. Just to...
At this point, I think if it, even if it were to stop, I don't think the track would dry out in time.
Yeah, possibly, but it will give you something to think about. Maybe even overheating the tires a little bit. You think grass on your tires are horrid. Overheating tires are... it's terrible. Terrible feeling.
That would change everything.
Just cutting into Death Seeker and he's within 2 seconds of Fossey now. Yeah, pumping it up. Engine singing in the back of that Toro Rosso. Yeah, just getting, yeah, definitely. Just getting into that dirty air and
going around with the judge, he had a bit of a tough time in the S's. Just not quite sure what happened, if it was a lapse in concentration. Basically missing the apex of the first corner and then just getting the rest of it wrong. And it cost him a bit of time.
Yeah, why? I thought these tires will make it. Oh, Springbok Gamer will cut that gap he's got there by 20 seconds at least. Oh, Danny gets another penalty for crossing the white line.
Now the question is, if Robbie has to stop, we could have a close race.
Nah, I don't think he'll have to stop. He's gonna lose time to Gavin, especially in this phase of the race, but I don't think that it will be needed to stop again. Yeah, I'm sure he's got some choice words in that helmet right now. Yeah, I can just imagine what he's saying to Claire right now. Knowing him personally, yeah, we all know. Yeah, he's a little bit of a firecracker when he gets riled up.
Well, just looking through the penalties, what I can see, penalties I can see for Timbo.
It's cutting back.
He had a stop-go penalty for corner cutting because he gained one place. Then he got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He got another stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And now he got another stop-go penalty for crossing the pit lane exit. So,
yeah, he's on Santa's naughty list, but I'm sure he'll keep it clean. Oh, Death Seeker running a bit wide.
Charlie will be watching closely.
Fossey gaining
with
again.
a raised eyebrow.
Oh, Death Seeker running wide again. Fossey taking him. It's okay, he must just keep his patience. He'll have another run at him, possibly in this straight.
And they're side by side up the straight.
Little Fossey looking on the inside, braking late.
Ooh.
Death Seeker's
just
giving a lot
about
of
stops
space.
on the apex of the corner. Oh, and getting on the grass. He's going to lose time now through the S's.
Oh.
Fossey having a bit of bad luck there. He lost the place and then got on the grass. Went into the S's, got out of shape.
The exit of turn 2. He doesn't like the exit of turn 2. Old Fossey.
And in the space of 5 or 6 corners, well, he's lost 4 seconds. So that's why I say it's a long race. And it just takes one mistake.
Yes. Yeah, if he can get within that 5 seconds, he can jump him. Like I said with Timbo, with the extra pit stop, that was not really scheduled, I wouldn't think. I thought the gap would come down by 20, but you was 40 seconds in front, and now it's only 12, so I think
it counts for 5 seconds, but he's served those 5 seconds.
Yeah,
in the pit stop.
The
so
pit entry
only the
ones.
last one where he crossed the pit exit line.
Yes.
That one, if he doesn't go back to the pits, he's going to get that 5 seconds added to his race time. But and the gap to 5th is 12 seconds, and if I've calculated that correctly, he's got 5 seconds penalty that will be added to the end of the race.
Yep. Like I
So that
say,
12-second gap is effectively 7.3 seconds. So all Springbok Gamer needs to do is get within 5 seconds. He doesn't even need to pass him.
yep.
Get within 5 seconds and stay there, and you've got fourth.
Hopefully they'll, Jeff will be telling him over the radio that the car in front has got a penalty, just to make him aware.
Hopefully Jeff is sending the right messages right
Yeah,
now.
not drawing pictures with his crayons there.
He's been known to, you know, pull
Be
out the
special.
wrong key card from time to time, and he's
Yeah.
caused some shenanigans in my career as well.
Yeah, he's a special guy, old Jeff. Just cutting back to Robbie, just going on board with him to see what the condition of the tires are.
That's such a dominating race. He had a battle with Gavin in the opening laps, but once he got past,
Yeah, look, his tires aren't happy. I can tell you that much.
and there's still 10 laps to go.
Yeah, no, he's been controlling it right the way through, so.
Jobe's still sitting in third place, and a very safe third place. .7 seconds that gap now.
Yeah, Robbie controlling it well.
The gap doesn't seem to be changing, it doesn't seem to be shrinking, and he may be on old tires, but he's doing really well. He's keeping the pace up, he's doing what he needs to do.
He is, and his car control is brilliant.
And with the exception of about 6 or 7 laps at the beginning of the race, he's led this entire thing.
Just having a look at Gavin. Looks like he's in the same sort of bracket, tire-wise, to Robbie, even though he stopped a bit later. Also, yeah, he's also car control superb. Yeah, I'm thinking he will jump to second in the championship now, if I'm not mistaken.
The funny thing with Robbie was he came off quite successful from another league, and he joined TnB, and he actually took quite a while to get his first win.
Yeah.
And when he did, since then, I think this would be what, his fourth? I think
Third or fourth,
I
yeah.
think this would be his fourth victory.
Yeah.
After the first win, he's won most of them.
But I know he's also racing in a different league, like an export league, and since then, in the 2-3 weeks, he's also been gaining pace. He's been spending time there.
The thing is, when you join multiple leagues, you spend so much time practicing for those leagues that you don't realize you're gaining so much time. When you get on track, you realize, hey, I'm actually quite quick. But
Yeah.
it's the people you race with that motivate you to get faster.
Yeah. Ugh. Gavin cutting some great lines through the S's there. Yeah, well, there's only, what, 8 laps remaining.
Still raining. We still have 8 laps to go. Something interesting could happen, but it would have to be something inexplicable. Somebody suddenly going off, missing a braking point.
Yeah, it's very possible.
When it gets to this stage of the race and starting to feel it. And if you switch off for just a second at the wrong part of the track.
Yeah, it's game over. Is it? Oh, thanks for the insight there, Wesley.
What, how much time? 10 minutes.
Should be over by then.
I think it's gonna be, if it happens, it's gonna be like on the last lap. No, for heavy rain. On that last lap, you might just have
Yeah,
a
quite
bit of extra difficulty getting around here.
No, I should be able to finish, especially if it's on the last lap.
Dives into the pits, yes, he dives into the pits. I suppose he's at the back. He's at the back, and 8th place is over a lap behind, so he probably just decided, you know, to go and put on a fresh set of tyres and enjoy the car for the last few laps. He's come out on a fresh set of intermediates. And if it's still 6 laps to go, so
well then, yeah, it will definitely put a couple of thoughts in Robbie's mind what he wants to do, because his
that
tires
gap
are
is now
screaming for
36
grip.
seconds. It'll be interesting to see how the two drivers react to the heavier rain. It's 36 seconds, so if he can keep it at that, he's got a pit stop in his pocket.
Oof.
Over the line to start lap 51, 52. We've got 4 laps to go. Or is it 51? 5 laps to go.
Just looking at the
In a
comments,
long race.
we've got Little Piece just
Difficult,
having a look at his
difficult.
competition for next week, and
yes.
it looks like he's relishing relishing the challenge. Looking forward to seeing you, little piece.
Just looking forward to this. Give Robbie some challenger.
Yeah.
Some challenger.
Yeah, George, he's a good guy.
And also remember that next week we're going to have a lot of the big names back. We're missing a lot of big names here today.
Yeah, definitely.
That could have made for a very different race result.
What's that, Captain Ice? Oh, within 8 seconds now. Yeah, I see you there. Yep.
That gap is at 8 seconds flat at the moment. But it's the only thing that resembles a possible battle. Everything else is fastest lap.
Just to show everybody,
Just to show everybody, my tires are fine. I'm fine. Oh no! Robbie oversteers in turn 1. Car goes sideways, manages to hold it all together, but will have lost a bit of time.
No, I think he's burning that extra fuel he's got now.
That looked.
Oh, Kevin, also. I was like, what, Jeff?
Done.
Heavy rain. Homemade dope fast. Check your move, boys.
The gap now 31 seconds.
Yeah.
That mishap in the first corner, just oversteered, car went sideways. He had to get a bit of grass on the back tyres. And then obviously that compromised him into the S's and it's cost him 4 seconds. This took a while to come through, but yeah, 4 seconds. Well, what now? 4 laps to go. Gonna have to take some awesome driving and probably a mistake.
Which is never impossible. No. Especially so late in a race with the tires pleading for grip. Yeah.
Robbie starts lap 53.
Yeah,
Here's lap 53. So. 3 laps to go. Gap still 31 seconds. In third place. Relatively quiet race considering he's on a podium. The judge, he's also had a race all by himself, wondering where the other guys are.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's just
I think the most people he's seen is the mechanics in his pits.
Yeah, but good on him.
Looks like
I'm happy for him with the podium.
Going around on time, Charles.
Another second. 3/4 of the lap through. Strange to see because, well, he had the pit stop. Yeah, maybe put some extra drinks there in the drinks bottle. Just to
Sometimes
relax
when
into it.
sometimes when you hold on to a position, when you hold on to a position for long enough, and you fight for that position for long enough, and you lose it, can be quite. It can put you off just enough to show in your lap times.
It is only coffee,
Yeah, it
James,
could be the
unfortunately.
Aussie limited edition made in Benoni coffee, which we all know is not coffee. It's coffee tequila, yes. And he drinks it by the mug. Oh. The gap at the front staying the same. It's gone up a little bit. It's 32 seconds now, so not much changing there.
Yeah,
Brought it down to 5 seconds, but 2 laps remaining. 2 laps remaining. I think he's left it a bit late, and he's probably going to run out of time. Might be interesting to see how penalties affect this race.
Yeah, we'll.
Let's have a look here.
Ooh, Atti. Having an oversteer moment. He's had a few of them in that final corner. Just waking himself up there a little bit. I'm sure he'll hang in there.
Well, I can tell you, Adidas Springbok Gamer does not have any time penalties. As far as I can tell, he had a stop go that he's already served.
Yeah, no, he served it in the pit stop.
But that's it. So he doesn't have any time penalties. 2 laps to go. Gap is still 5 seconds. Just needs to keep his head, and there's no reason why he should lose that position.
Yeah.
.33 seconds. What this race really came down to was that end plate.
Yeah, that's all it was.
On Gavin's car. It came down to that end plate. If he hadn't stopped and they were of similar pace, it would have been a different race.
Yeah. I think Nizmex pushed him a little bit wide, but they kept it clean. Yeah, spot the breaking point, and with the concertina effect, it's a bit harder in the wet.
And unlike real Formula One, here in TnB we actually do a standing start in the rain.
Yes.
We don't go around we don't go around behind the safety car for 20 laps.
Well, unless
That will cost
Robbie
him.
catches him before
He got
the
out
end
of the
lap.
way, but that cost him his own result.
Well, Springbok, let's see, can just stick to Robbie, yeah? And hope that Robbie can catch Springbok Gamer before the end of the lap. Maybe with the blue flag he'll get it a little bit wrong. can take nothing away from this Mercedes driver. He's driven a magnificent race.
He's held it together for 56 laps.
Yeah. Coming through
Without, from
right.
what I've seen on screen, I saw one mistake which he took care of very quickly. He's going to go around the final bend.
Spins up the rear tires. Oh, well done. Gave Pig in second, coming through the final sector, heading to the triple right. It's a shame about the end plate.
So no need to do the final lap. Third place is finished, and second is yet to finish.
Oh yes, first podium position in TnB, most improved driver. Oh yes. Oh, I was enjoying a good points finish.
Timbo's still making his way to the finish line. He's gonna
Jumping. Timbo also having a good race, jumping 7 positions. Good drive.
Here comes Springbok Gamer in the final top 5.
Well
we
done.
Go over the line.
Well done, horse. Well done, Ati.
Tough conditions. Difficult distance.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. Robbie, deserved winner. Gavin.
And there's the podium. There's the judge on the podium. He's enjoying that.
Well, it's the first time I'm seeing his face in the game, so yeah, well done. I'm betting that champagne's gonna taste very sweet.
I must tell you, he is shorter than that.
Yeah, had the pleasure of meeting him a few weeks ago, and yeah, what a gentleman.
Just running through the results quickly. Robbie, first place, great win by quite a distance. Gavin, it came down to a mistake in the beginning, second place. The judge finished with a solid third, kept it clean the whole race. Timbo in fourth, must have been wondering where everyone else was. Springbok came in first, Dexy sixth, and Fossey came up in seventh.
No.
I think those were your finishes.
No. Oh, well done, guys. Well, thank you for the comms. I think it didn't go too badly, considering it was the first race streaming for TnB.
And well, hopefully next week you keep on the tarmac.
Yeah, we'll see you driving. Anyway, gentlemen. Well, good luck with that. We're gonna cut off now. Well, goodbye. Thank you for the race, gentlemen. So